lots of lights, my friends. That's what happens when I do that. Kind of helps a little bit. Maybe it doesn't. Oh well, let's do this. Gotta turn things around a little bit here. Okay, let's get this started. Let's get this started. Okay, here we go. friends, welcome aboard. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yours truly, Rockin' Dave, the real deal. North Fort Myers, Southwest Florida. Welcome to the channel. I think we have some people on. Let's see. Sorry about this, guys. John Dawson, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, man. Really appreciate it. So what I'm doing here is doing a test run with the Cordoba through the Zoom G2X4, basically to see how well it takes with acoustic guitar. You see a lot of demos out there with all different types of floor units, and they'll use acoustic guitars. When they do use acoustic guitars, a lot of them are going to be steel string guitars. So not many people are playing a nylon string or the style that I play. So it's real hard for people like us to find a video on a product that's going to work for our needs. So, we have to be the experiment, unfortunately. But, hey, it is what it is, right? And it's really not too bad. It's an inexpensive pedal. And maybe that's what I do like about it. We'll be doing a lot of these gear demo reviews on some of these pedals. And what I'm going to be focusing on are the units that are from, let's say, the 200 to the 350 range. The inexpensive units, sometimes deemed as the cheap units, that maybe are not recommended for gigging live, and or are what's called recommended for the people who are first getting into guitar or first getting into effect units and things of that nature. So because of their price point, they already have that stigma of, well, the pros don't use it, this, that, the other. Well, I use a lot of this stuff at my live gigs, and if anyone has been following this channel for the last 7 years, you could see how many live gigs we do. And of course, we stream them all straight through. And if anything, it really is the proof in the performance and how well inexpensive pedals hold up. I'm not going to talk too much about inexpensive guitars versus expensive guitars and things of that nature. I'm just going to focus on the pedals right now, because one thing with the effect pedals that they get that nothing else gets, other than if you're playing outside in the humidity and things like that, it does put a lot of wear and tear on the guitars. But the effect pedals are constantly being stepped on. So right off the bat, and of course that's what they're built for. They're built to be, they're foot pedals. That's what they're built for. But right off the bat, they're going to get a lot of use. So I thought, well, what better way to kind of show people, you don't need to spend a lot of money on effects to get out there and play. Now, are those units great? Yeah, they are. There's no question about it. If you could drop anywhere from $1,500 up to $2,800 and beyond for some of your fractal units, which they sound great. The quad cortex units, the Kempers, the head rush units are great. The Helix and all that. All these units, they cost a lot. For a reason. Their sound engine in there is superb. Plus, the cabinet, the casing that it comes in, it's metal. It's built to last, or it should. Now, I'm not saying that those units cannot have any faults. Of course they can. It happens, and it's not a reflection on the company itself. It just sometimes it happens. But the less expensive gear always seem to get picked on, or shunted out, while the pros don't use that, Well, how do you know? Maybe they don't. You could be right. Maybe they don't. But if you really look at it from this point of view, and I'm gonna actually mention for the cover bands, because it's easy for a cover band to get a gig because they're playing all the popular songs. If you're in a cover band and if you're averaging, let's say, 3 gigs a week, and whether you're playing a full band or you're a duo, trio, or soloist and you're using any of these units, well, that's a lot of gigging. That's a lot of playing. That's a lot of wear and tear on these products. I don't know, other than people are afraid to put up their covers. I understand, but I don't understand why more people who, especially people that are, more people are not putting up these videos of them playing. Now, it could be if they're in a band, it's not their decision. You got to respect other people's decisions. I understand. But let's say if they're even a soloist like myself, and you don't have anyone else to debate with, well, go ahead and put them up, because the reality is there is still a lot of us that we want to see what these units actually do right out of the box without downloading sound patches or editing, hooking up to editing software. And I mean, coming right out the gate, what could these things do? So that being said, maybe I'll be the guinea pig, huh? Even though I've been the last 7 years on this channel. My other channel, of course, we've done a lot of that gigging as well, and putting up videos for people that who are going to hire me in that. But specifically this channel. So I have my other Zoom camera, my little Zoom Q3, and my last live gig, thank you for tuning in, I appreciate that. My last live gig over at University Villages, when you heard me talking into the camera, that was into my little Zoom camera. It was pointed directly at this pedal. So when I upload these videos, you'll see this pedal being put to use. And, again, the best way to see if a product could stand the test of time is to actually showing it standing the test of time. That, to me, that's the best. That will convince me to buy a product. If I see somebody using, even if they're not playing the same style that I'm playing, because I know, each, you can get in there and you could program your EQ section, EQ things the way you want it, and move the effects around in the chain the way you want it. You could, that's, and each company has their own basically tone. That's just how it is. But the functionality of the foot switches, and especially on this pedal, because I've seen it where you got those 4 switches that are kind of close to that center button, and I've actually stepped on it by mistake, but it was easy to get out of it too, And I thought, and of course we had a gift card in that, so we'll figure. That's one of the reasons how we got this pedal, but I wanted to get something that the average person would pick. Just like with the GT1. I've used that thing for 2 years, and it's held up. I got the Boss ME90. Now I'm using it with this since I got this pedal. We're using them together in conjunctions, So, if anything, it could help people out there to make the decision what they should and shouldn't buy. And of course, it's your money, and what you hear in your head, that's what you need to buy, Don't listen to me or anybody else without you checking it out for yourself, because, again, it's your money. So, this pedal costs the $229, $230 plus tax. It does come with the adapter, and this patch I have is basically no amp sound. I do have a little bit of an EQ in there from actually an overdrive, with the overdrive shut completely off. So if I go to that effect, let's go to it right now. And I got hall reverb, my parametric EQ. It's called the EP drive. So let's go ahead and if I turn that off, there's a significant drop in the volume. Now I'm going to turn that overdrive back on. So there's a little bit of tweaking there. There's a little bit of a boost of maybe some of the mids, not too much slows. I try to keep it as flat response as possible. Now that's playing with the flesh of my fingers. So let's go ahead and try the pick. Now we got the effect off, the overdrive off. overdrive on. So you can see. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn that overdrive off, switch over to the where I have my octave pedal. Okay. So it is a little bit of wobble there, so that's one of the reasons why I added the overdrive. It can kind of smooth it out a little bit. Let's see, do I have my low on here? So if I was to use just the octave from here, I would kind of have it where it's just a little, almost at the same level as the as the natural guitar sound, because that's why I use the Digitech drop pedal, because it seems to be a little bit more of a smoother. There's no wobbles, and that's when I'm layering bass notes over the acoustic guitar playing. So I mean, a lot of people you don't have to do that, but that's the reason why I do that. If anyone wanted to find out, so we're gonna go back here and just set that to its pace there, or setting that I had it. And yeah, there we go. So all in all, it's not a bad unit at all. It's not a bad unit at all. I have been playing it every single day, and my plan is to play it every single day for a year. And whether I don't put up here, other than my live gigs, it's going to be in my Zoom camera, and I'm dating everything so that when I do upload it, then you can see. I'm not going to have a whole year. I mean, no one wants to sit through that. But it'll be like little clips, little segments of where you'll see me playing this and hitting these foot switches. Because you see, that right there is the main issue, is do the foot switches work? Will they get stuck? Will they get clogged? Will this, that, and and all in between? Will all that happen? So that's why I'm going to do that. So that if someone wants to make a decision and buy it, they'll say, hey, it doesn't sound too bad. And everything is always going directly into the PA. And I don't do any connecting to the computer to download anything. If that's what people want to do, great, go for it. In my personal opinion, I think with all these units, no matter what their price point is, I really think that should be the option. It should not be, that should not be the main thing. When you buy something, it sounds okay, but you have to look it up. Now you got to download a bunch of stuff to make it really sound good. In my opinion, you shouldn't have to do that. Coming out of the box, it should sound really decent. And everything else, anything else is optional. And then that's a plus. It's like, buying a car and you get like, 4 crappy tires, skinny little tires, and then even your spare is not too good. And then what you buy, you drop what, 56,000 for a car or a pickup truck, small one, and then all of a sudden you gotta go out and buy new tires. I mean, really, this to me doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense at all. And for a lot of us gigging musicians, time really is of the essence. And we get these units, and then right away we kind of program it to how we're going to use it. So the last thing we need is to download something else. And again, personally, me, I'm not computer literate, so it would take even longer. For people who are, hey, more power to you, But again, it should be an option. It should not be the reason, the only reason. You have to do this, otherwise there's no point. Otherwise, why don't you just sell the pedal completely empty, and then you buy it, and then you got to hook up. I mean, that's, to me, it's that kind of like that type of mentality, So, and again, because the unit is so expensive, and what I did is when I plugged in, I bypassed everything else. It's just the Zoom that I'm plugged into, and into the Roland KC Stereo 110. And this way, you just get to hear exactly how that sounds, especially for acoustic. Now, I'm not going to grab the steel string. I don't have enough time for that. I wanted to just focus on the nylon string, because there are people out there that do play. classical style guitar, flamenco style guitar, and maybe if they need something who to enhance their setup. They might be in the same situation like me. And this is what I'm going to talk about coming up right now with the gigs. You get the gigs, sometimes they hire you for a 3 hour gig, and then they ask, hey man, they have such a great time. Hey, could you stay an extra hour? Now it's a 4 hour gig. Uh, you know, if you could walk in some of these places, if you're just doing acoustic, less gear is more. And what that saying means is if you could do more with less, you come out ahead. That's the main thing right there. Because there are times you could be set up in different places, different areas that you don't have a whole lot of room for massive boards. So I've been in that situation where I had to leave a board in the car or had to rearrange things. That's why when we get these gigs, we try to find out, where is our setup spot so that we could kind of, nail it down in our minds so that when we get there, that's one issue that's already addressed. We don't have to worry so much. We know we're going to set up. And it's nice to ask, is there an alternative? Let's say we're playing outside here and it rains. What's the inside going to look like, And try to get your bearings on both ends of the spectrum. So, because I opened up that can of worms with the gigging, I want to talk about now the positive sides of gigging. Because I got a couple of videos out there that, the realities of gigging. And yeah, a lot of times it could be real, real tough, man. I think the toughest ones is when you're doing your cross-country shows. You're traveling across the country. Very tough on my wife, man. I am very blessed and fortunate, and she's great. I'd be lost without her. Um, all the road shows we've done, she did, if not all the driving, she done about, I want to say 98% of the driving. I've only done a few. And the reason being is because I got to be the one performing. So if it takes, let's say it takes 8 hours to get from point A to point B and I got to set up and play, man, it's, 8 hours and a 4 hour gig, you're looking there at 12 hours right there, tearing down, talking with people. Sometimes that adds in another couple hours. That 12 hours turn into 14 hours. Now we got to get in the car and drive back. So a lot of times we'll look for a hotel, or we've actually stayed at the truck stops right there to get some rest. And then there's a couple times we switch driving coming back, but it's when you're the performer, man, you're the one being looked at. So you're the one that's got to be, ready to go. Of all what could be deemed as the negatives of gigging, the one big positive of gigging, of playing live, is really just that, playing live. It's like you enter a totally different world. And the reason why I wanted to do this live stream in this video is I have got a former student that used to ride the bus with me, and she's a guitar player. Now, she left a message, and she said, she's thinking about getting out there. So, Riley, if you want to get out there and play, this is really specifically for you and for anybody else out there who are thinking about wanting to go out there and gig. But maybe you've seen some of my other videos on the realities of gigging and like, oh man, it almost sounds like it's all negative. Or we've seen some other videos out there kind of, putting a negative spiel on everything. Okay, we're just forewarning you of what could happen and things that has happened with us, It's not to deter you from going out and playing and trying it. Because, like I said, the biggest positive of gigging, of playing live, is simply that, playing live, man. It's just, there's nothing like it. And when you're new to this, it could be tough. If you're a type of person that is an introvert, then it's like, okay, well, in your studio room or your bedroom, it's, all points on, you're in that zone, that's great. You get out of that comfort zone, ooh, it's really tough. My advice to get over that really is is doing open mics, and that's one of the best ways you could start to overcome playing in front of people. Another thing is, now I don't want this to scare people, because that's not what this is for. But get used to people not paying attention to you, or not liking what you're doing. Get used to that. Because it's the reason why I say that, it's gonna make you stronger. It's not gonna, you listen. The reason why people don't, I've heard people say this. They're even nervous to go out and do an open mic. Is they're afraid that they're gonna get maybe laughed at. They're afraid they're gonna make a mistake. People will call them out on it. You'd be real surprised how many people will be in your corner. Yeah, you'd be really surprised, because they're there to kind of cheer you on, to kind of help you out. So a lot of times, because those people that are watching you, they're afraid to even step on the stage. So in their minds, and I've heard a lot of people say this, they give credit for anyone who puts themselves out there. A lot. And I don't sing, as you know, so for people who do sing, I give you guys a lot, and gals out there, a lot of credit, because you're at the mercy of, and if you get a cold, you just have a bad day, you can't hear yourself, it's very tough. Very, very tough. There's a lot of good people out there on YouTube that are gigging live. You got up in Tampa and Bradenton area, Jason Stallworth. He's great. He does metal, but he also does the acoustic solo gigs, where he does like a lot of '80s metal acoustic style, and then he'll loop a rhythm and grab the electric guitar and solo over it. So I give, he doesn't really use tracks. He uses straight live. I give him a lot of credit. Same with another guy that's up in California, and by the way, our thoughts and prayers with everybody in California, man. Ooh, those fires are bad, man. They're all bad. And I hope our friend Jeffrey Dean from the Solo Gigging Life, he's out there. I don't know exactly what area. He used to be in the Big Bear area. Now he moved again, but he's still in California. So I hope him and his wife Kim are safe. But he does a lot of solo gigging, and a lot of him, same thing. I think he'll loop or use a Beat Buddy and just do straight acoustic and singing, and that's tough, man. That's tough. But I give anyone who does a lot of credit. So anyone who wants to put themselves out there and start gigging that, and if you're nervous, then yeah, do some open mics. Get over that hurdle of being nervous. And again, like I just said a little while ago, the people that do get rude with you, the people that do want to say something that's negative, try to shunt that out. Don't really respond to it. Could let them have their opinion, and sometimes it could hurt, but build up that immune system, because one of the secrets of getting out there and playing, when you see these people, they get out there and they're playing, it's like, man, it's like second nature to them. Nothing bothers them. Part of what has built up their endurance to do that is they took the criticism, and they let it, the criticism come to them, they let it happen, but they still go out there and play, and they build up such a strong immunity against that negative thought. I mean, at first you're gonna think, wow, man, am I really that bad, or what do I need to do? And analyze yourself, record yourself if you could do, so you can really analyze what you're doing, and fix the things that you think that you need to fix. The recordings don't lie. However, when you look at your playback and you're saying, wow, but you know what? I like the way it sounds. It's not bad. Then chances are the people that's giving you all that negativity are just, that's how they are. They're just there to bust your chops, man. You know, they're just messing with you, you know. And sometimes you have to just learn to deal with that. But I'm telling you, it will make you stronger. It will really make you stronger, and you won't even just let them. And that's right, I'm no good. Yeah, well, that's fine. You know, watch this. You know, I'm no good, right? Yeah, just let it flow. Just let it flow. Don't let that, or if anything, make a joke out of it, so that it's part of the act. And chances are, you could really win those people over because when they figure out that they cannot bust your chops and they cannot discourage you, that you're like unstoppable. This does happen over a course of time. Now, you know, and everyone's different. Maybe it won't take it that much time, or maybe it'll take a long time. But when you build up that immunity against all the negativity, it's like you become unstoppable. You know, you're doing this because you really love to do it. And that's the magic right there. And that's where even if you make a mistake, you get back in that zone, man, and just play your heart out. Because, like I said, the biggest positive of playing live is, or the biggest positive of gigging is that when you're in that zone, it's like it's magic. You enter this magical world, man. It's great. You know, see, a lot of us that have been playing for so long, we come from that era that it was a show, man. It was special. It really was special when you went to a concert, and just that took you to a different world, man. It's like when you go see a movie. You're sitting there, the theater's dark, the music's playing. It takes you on this journey. That's to me, that's magic right there. That's magical. So and here's another thing, you might get people that might try to bust your chops, might say something. Oh, look, he's moving his arms around, he's making these faces and that. But you're getting into it. That's okay. Just let them be, because the main thing is, did they have a good time, and did you have a good time? Don't rule yourself out. You got to enjoy what you're doing, otherwise it won't be enjoyable. It just simply won't. And now, if you want to get out there and learn all these covers, go ahead and do it. You know, because get ready for the people to say, "Do you play this song?" You play, "I'll play this song." Oh, you played it wrong. Or I've had people, I'm playing one of those was it the Red Roof Inn song? Was it a motel, a hotel? You know what I'm talking about, right? Uh, you could check out, but you can never leave. You know that song? I won't even say the title. It's done by those birds, the Beagles. A G major to a D. That's what I'm playing right there. Well, one of the gigs I did, I'm playing it, and the guy, sing it, sing it. I'm doing the vocal melody. I'm like, look at me, let the guitar sing, man. Let the guitar. You don't want to hear me sing because it's all over, man. You know what I mean? So he had a negative thing to say. You know, doesn't like what I'm doing, but he wants to come, watch me. But doesn't like what I'm doing. You could get people like that, but that's okay. Let those people be who they are. Find a way to turn their negativity into your positivity. I don't know if this came out on video. It might have, because I do a lot of streaming. But one of the gigs I did at Yucatan, maybe like one of the first ones, or the first few months or whatever it was, I'm playing, and the way we were set up at that time, there was a bar over here, and there's a lady, she wants to make all these requests. Okay? I really don't do that. Well, she says to me, and this is after I already played like a set and a half. So the tip jar was filled. So she says to me, well, how do you expect to get any tips if you don't play what the people want to hear and play requests? I looked at her. I said, just look at the tip jar. I said, lady, just be good at your craft. Be good at your craft. Now, if you're the type of person that can whip out all these songs out of your head, go for it. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. But the main thing I always try to do is, and it has to sound good, and sometimes it doesn't happen, you know. But I cannot allow myself to be afraid of, you know. In my opinion, you know what the worst thing that could happen? You want to go out there and play, but you're kind of nervous and you're looking for advice. One of the worst things that could happen is that nothing happens. And what I mean by that is you get yourself worried up so much and so afraid to go out there that you don't go out there. And in the back of your mind, you'd say, man, but I want to go out there and play, man. I wonder what happens. And then when time goes by, because it's going to go by, and you look back, you say, you know what? I wish I would have taken that chance. Maybe I would have flopped. But you know what? At least I went out there and I tried it. Because I'm only speaking for myself. In my personal opinion, there's nothing worse than sitting and letting time go by and then looking back, reflecting on it and saying, oh man, I wonder what would have happened. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. I wonder what would have happened. You can't get that time back. You know, my dad used to always say this. Hey, you go out there and you make a fool out of yourself, you fall forward, you fall right on your face in front of everybody, but you know what? You're still moving forward. Get back up and go for it. Because if it's in you that you want to do something, you're going to find a way to do it. That's just the way that is. You really are. You really are. So, yeah, there's a lot of bad things that happen out there. Okay? But they can happen to anybody at any time, anywhere. You cannot be so afraid of life that you are just afraid to go out there. You can't. Now, for people who tried it, and it's just not for them, and they're more of the introvert, there's nothing wrong with that. You know? There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not better than anybody because I'm out there playing. Trust me, I'm not better than anybody. I just do what I do. And I try to be the best that I could be at what I do. That's it. You know. And if you are the nervous type to go out there, put up videos. Do you know when you record a video, even if you're not doing live, and you just record a video, you are still doing a performance? Here, I'm gonna put this up a little bit. I gotta share this with you because there's this company in the classical guitar world. What's classical guitar? Oh yeah, that's the Beatles. No, that's classic rock, classical guitar. You know. Called Sikas Guitars, and notice that they put you got there's a lot of ladies that are doing these concerts, and they're concerts, but why is it a concert, Dave? It looks like they're in a room smaller than yours, a little bit bigger than what you got, and then they have all these classical guitars in these glass cases, and usually there'd be maybe a half-hour performance, maybe 40-minute performance, and each piece of music is played on each different guitar, so you could actually sample the guitar. Now sometimes they'll play a longer piece on the same guitar, but usually each person, you know, before they start the performance, they announce, you know, who they are, their name, and that, and ask, and they say, you know, hope you enjoy this concert, because the word concert really means the performance. So my point is that even if you don't go out there and play and you put up a bunch of videos of you playing, you are still making that start. And to be honest, these videos and all this goes worldwide, my friends. So at any given point, you're going to have a lot of people watching you. You just won't see them. Now, when you go out live, nowadays you will definitely see them. It's not like, unless you're playing a big concert hall, but you know, back in the '80s and that, when we'd be playing, you know, there was no LED lights, so the lights were really hot, and I'll never forget this. When I had somebody ask me, "Wow, man, how could you go out there and play when people are looking at you?" I said to this guy, I said, "Man, we get out there and play, and all of a sudden it looks like everybody disappeared because all I see, I got lights in my face." So that's what I see, and I have lights in my face and dark. I know there's people on, but man, I can't see it because the lights are so strong. So that kind of helped curve the nervousness. But I cannot remember being as nervous as people have explained to them their nerve, being nervous. And I think it's because when I started playing, 1974, and it was in grade school, and then everything we were learning was for an assembly hall. So in assembly hall, it's still like a concert. You got a few hundred people out there, maybe 300 people. It was a lot of people, and it was four or five of us and the teacher. And we're doing our thing, and to me, it looked like, and I knew it was parents out there, but it also strangers, people out there. I don't know who they were, but they were smiling. I'm not making fun, smiling. And to me and my friends, it looked like they were enjoying what we were doing. They looked at us, we were having fun, and they were having fun. And it was this magical moment where it's a give and take. You're giving a performance, they're enjoying it, they're giving you that feedback, and it goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And it just did something for me. It was fun. It was just fun. And then as you get older, in your teen years, and you're listening to rock music, oh, this is so cool, man, and things of that nature. So you want to do this more and more and more, and it just accelerates and accelerates and grows and grows and grows. So for me, it was just a little bit different because coming out the gate, I was playing in front of people. That's just how it was. Um, when I started playing out in the clubs, I called the place, but I really didn't call places. I would talk with them, and through chain of command, a few people. Oh, I know this person. Oh yeah, we'll go see we play here. Blah blah blah, and that. And when I was in the top 40 band, the drummer was getting all the gigs, but I learned a lot from him. And after that, then I started calling the places. And yeah, I'm gonna tell you. Here's another thing to get ready for with the negativity. You're gonna get a lot of rejection. Don't let that bother you. Don't let that bother you. Because again, it's going to build up the endurance. Because when you do find a person that says, "Okay, yeah, we'll have you come in and play and give you a shot," then there's your opportunity. Um, so that was another thing that started to happen for me. And of course, when Deb started doing the bookings as well, because she's been in the music business for a long time, and she knew that part, the business part of it, so well, and the running the sound, which I didn't really know. I mean, I knew how to turn the dials on the amplifier and that, but she knew the overall sound running and that. So that was a big help. Um, Now, in this day and age, because everything really is different, and even Jeffrey Dean from the Soul Digging Life had made this comment that you will run into, there's egos out there, and it's not only the musicians with egos. You're gonna have, you know, restaurant managers. Sometimes they might have a little ego here. Not all of them. Not all of them. You gotta understand they have a full day. So first and foremost, whatever negativity that you might be feeling from that person, understand they got a lot on their plate. What could help you land a gig? And I know this is not very popular to say, but it does work. And especially when you're new and you're up and coming, and you're trying to get people to notice you. What's nice with having all these platforms? People are they're gonna notice right away because they could see. No more sending in a cassette tape or anything like that. Um, so they could check it out. But one thing that can work is you offering pro bono gig. You don't hold on 1 second. I'll be right back, my friends. Here, we'll put the guitar right here. Okay, I have to check on something. Sorry about that, guys. All right, guys, sorry about that. Let me grab this here. So, what I mean by pro bono gigs, it's not real popular to say that. Free gigs. Oh, I don't want to do it for free. Let me explain. This is really helpful for someone who says, you know what? There's this place that a lot of the local bands play at and the local musicians play at. And I want to kind of get myself out there. And it's kind of a popular place, but I really want to get in my foot in the door there. When you offer this, so you find the manager, find out who does the bookings. If it's usually the manager, talk with the manager and say, listen, um, I want to do a gig here, and what I could do is I could offer you maybe do one gig, and you pay me what you want to pay, or you don't pay me at all. It's fine, and just see how this goes. Now, when you're trying to get yourself established, sometimes you have to do something like that. It's not popular to, I understand, but what that did, one of the places that I played at, that I was there almost 2 years, and then I came back. So actually, in total, I was playing there over 2 years. Was over at Yucatan, and it was just right the lockdown, pandemic lockdown. I went in there, and I made an offer. And I said, "There's really nothing to lose. If you don't like it, it's okay. It's not personal." She said, "Okay." Lady's name Denise, real nice lady, real nice gal, and had me play. And next thing you know, I was there every Saturday. And then what stopped it was Hurricane Ian. And then when they reopened, she seen me playing for a corporate function, the Chamber of Commerce of Pine Island, and she went right up to Deb and she said, "Yeah, we're going to reopen and we're going to have you come back for Saturday and Sunday, and we're going to pay you even more both days." And then what happened was they're doing road work over there, and then they had to cut out the performances because it was costing them too much. And when they started doing the road work there, man, they lost a lot of business because nobody wanted to stay and get stuck in traffic. And I feel bad for them. Hopefully that will get resolved and we get back there. And if not, no big deal. But my point is, if I would have said, "Oh no, you can't do that," blah blah, I would have never gotten that gig. And I, I've been playing for 50 years, and again, there's the pandemic, 2020, right? So I've been doing a lot more before 2020. Not new coming out the gate, but maybe new there. So you see, no matter how much experience you have, when you move to a new town, you're new. And if they don't, if they don't know who you are, well, then you got to establish yourself. And that's one way of doing it. And I know there's a lot of people that get real pissed off at that statement. I understand. But when I did that, it was to get my foot in the door. And I told her, "This between you and me, whatever you pay the other musicians, that's not my business. I stay out of that. Oh, you're paying them this, and hey, if they're bringing you more people than me, hey, that's up to you. That's your place. It's up to you." But that method worked for me, and I'm probably one of the hardest acts to sell because I don't sing. There's no vocals. And a lot of these places, they want you to not only play covers, but sing them. So just imagine how tough that could be. But it's not only, here's two sides of the coin. It's not only how good you are, it's what you do, right? And who you know, blah, blah. Okay? But at the same time, it's not only all the covers you could play and sing that, it's how good are you at your craft. Are you different? If you're just like everybody else, that could be a tough sell. It could be an easy sell, it could be a tough sell. It's a catch-22. And, but don't try to be different because you're trying to be different. Do what your heart tells you. Be as natural as you could possibly be. And the reason why I say that is when you go and you play, you're going to have a less of a chance of making mistakes because you're doing something so naturally. It's just flowing right out of you. And when it flows out of you and you're enjoying yourself, I'm telling you, these people, they notice it. They notice it. Now, again, you're not going to please everybody, so, be prepared for that. But it's not a bad thing. I wish we would have recorded this, and we didn't even think about it. Last Thursday, the lady that books for the art walk and the music walk downtown Fort Myers, her boyfriend is a musician. He acoustic guitars, strums and sings, and we haven't had a chance to really see him play. And he'll do the art walk. He'll do a lot of the music walk. I think he does the art walk too. But I do my shows straight through. I don't take no breaks. I don't have no time to wander around and watch other people play. And even if I do, I gotta hurry up and get back to my setup, the location I'm at, and get back and play. So I can't be wandering around. So it's really tough to see other people play. It really is. But we had a chance to go out to see him play. It was great. He took a break. He offered me to play his guitar. So I had no looping. I didn't have my pick. I had nothing. And he had a steel string. So I just did some acoustic things, standing up, didn't adjust the strap. And I thought, well, you know what? This is kind of cool. And wanted to check out his guitar. It was nice. And I have the business card of the guy that owns the restaurant. Now, whether he pays or doesn't, I don't. That's irrelevant. We could talk with that. The place is called Cafe Blue, or Blue Cafe, and it's actually kitty corner from Izzy's fish seafood restaurant there. And but we're inside playing, which is nice. So I'm gonna talk with that guy, and he seemed to like what I was doing. He was like, "Oh, different, man. This is cool." And the young gal, was behind the counter. I told her, I've been liking some of this what they call lo-fi music. You know, I love playing metal. I love in the fusion. I love all that. But the lo-fi is what I call the chillaxing music. And it's really interesting that some of these young folks, these young college kids, wow, man, they dig that stuff. And I don't know. I'm just putting guitar melodies to some of these rhythms and that, and because that's just my thing. I don't sing, so I have to do something different. It's not because I'm trying to be different. It's just that's just how it worked out for me. So the reason why I'm saying that is whatever your thing is, let that shine through. You know, and even if it is doing all these covers, but it's maybe the way you do those covers, and don't worry about these people. Look, don't worry about these people telling you, well, if you're playing that song, that guitar player, he didn't use the Strat, he used the Les Paul. Oh, you gonna buy me a Les Paul? I remember when I made that comment to this one guy. Well, this guy, he didn't play that. He didn't play a Jackson. I had at the time. I still have a Jack, but I had a black Jackson Dinky with the reverse headstock. He didn't play that guitar. He played a Les Paul. I looked at him and said, "You gonna buy me a Les Paul?" Oh, what kind of underwear did he wear? Was it Hanes or Fruit of the Loom? So why don't just go all out? I'm not that person. Now, if I were to do a tribute act, I'd do as close as possible. If I can't, some people look like some of these people. If I don't look like that person, I have to do some of the music as close as possible. And sometimes it can be fun. But with me being a creative person, it won't take long for me to get so burnt out on that scene. It's like, oh my God, I gotta get out of here. It just, to me, it stifles the creativity. It just, comes down on it. But that's me. But if that is also you, and you do, let's say, some covers, but you want to do your originals, don't hold yourself back. You know, maybe you won't get as many gigs as the next guy or gal, but you still get them. But you know what you're going to do that person is not doing? You're going to establish you. So that when someone says, hey, I know this person, I get their sound, that's them. I'll never forget one of the first times I was playing at Yucatan. A friend of ours from back up north, back up in Illinois, when we used to play at the Warehouse Church in Aurora, Illinois. His name was Hal. He moved down to Florida I think 2 or 3 years before we came down here. And so we lost touch with him. You know, we didn't know. We didn't even. I mean, I forgot he was down there. We didn't even know what part of Florida. Well, I kid you not. We're playing Yucatan. All of a sudden, this guy comes up. I notice this guy's talking to Deb, and he comes and waves at me. I'm like, why does that guy's face look so familiar? And that afterwards, and they left. That Deb told me, hey, that's Hal. Remember Hal? Remember Hal from over at Warehouse Church? That's him. And then because he, and then I thought he stayed there, and then when we were done playing, he came back up. He says, man, I told my wife, I said, I'm listening to this guitar music. I'm sitting way back there, so I didn't even see you. I'm sitting back there. I'm listening to this. I'm like, wow, man. You know who that sounds like? That sounds like Dave. Remember Rockin' Dave? The Christmas guitar shows? Doesn't that sound like him? And sure enough, he comes in, and man, it's you, man. So my point is that when you allow your own originals and your own way of doing things to shine through, people are going to notice it. And that's how you start to get name recognition. You know? One of there's a lot of guitar players I like. You know, my main influence is Al Di Meola. But my second main influence is Carlos Santana because I just love the way he plays. And even if he wasn't one of my favorite guitar players, out of everybody out there, you know, minus BB King, but in a different way, okay? We'll talk electric guitar players here, by the way. Carlos Santana's got the most recognizable sound, in my opinion, the most recognizable sound. You could play one note and you know it's him. And to me, that's magic. You know, all the time. And I like to shred. I like to play fast. I love all that stuff. It's fun. I like Yngwie, but I like Di Meola better. And I think why I like Al Di Meola better is because of his style that he plays. It's not always fast. There's melody to it, and it's just different. But I do like Yngwie. But my point is that if you don't feel it, it doesn't come across. But there are times you play just one note. Like if I just like this, just a little vibrato. Now if I add a couple notes. To me, that could touch very deep. To me, that goes beyond the shredding. It's not that difficult, but what makes it difficult is the touch. So everyone has a certain touch out there to their playing. So my point is, don't suffocate that. Now, if you're the type that is into nothing but doing covers, and if that is your thing, by all means, go for it. Because that's your thing. That will shine through. You'd be surprised. There's a lot of people that hold themselves. I won't say this in a bad way, but for a lack of a better term, they hold themselves back going out there thinking they don't sound good, and they sound great. They sound excellent. They should go out there. They are holding themselves back. Yeah, but I might make a mistake. We all make mistakes. That's part of it. We're human. We're not machines. Turn that mistake into, hey, that's supposed to fit in there, man. I thought I'd mess with you, you know. I played the song last night. I played it different for you. How's that? You know, did you like? I had a good time. You had a good time. Good. That's awesome. You know, because really, in essence, that's the whole point of it. Can people have a good time? Could they be, you know, taken out of their hustle and bustle of life? You know, and they sit back and they relax and like, oh man, this is pretty cool. You know, I like this. You know. So, as tough as things could be out there, the number one positive of playing live is that magic, man. That man, there's nothing like it. You close your eyes, man, and it's like you're in a different world, you know. Here, for a lot of you that are what they would call the bedroom guitarists, so the studio bedroom guitarists, when you play, when you're playing and you're in your own little world, does it seem like you're at Carnegie Hall and then there's like thousands of people cheering you on, or you know what I mean? The reason why I say this is because that is what we try to strive for, but it's not necessarily the. It would be great to play Carnegie Hall, but let's say you have to play at the Dewdrop and down. Make that your Carnegie Hall. See, because with all the lights and all the setup and that, you still got to be the one performing, unless it's a light show. That's totally different. But the lights and everything is just to enhance what you do. You have to do it. You make that show come alive. You make the magic happen. So, whatever your thing is, let it shine. Let it shine. And it's what you're gonna do is you're gonna draw the attention of people that like what you like. If you're not into all the covers or whatever, even if you're doing half of that, but you're gonna draw them into what you like, and they're gonna follow you. If they can't follow you all the time, trust me, they're gonna be there. You know, they'll be there in one way or another when they can, or you meet new people. I forget how many times I've met people that I don't know who they are, and they're sitting there watching me playing. Like they'll say, "Man, this is great. We haven't seen this in so long," and I know what they mean. Someone that really enjoys playing, the magic of the performance, because it is like magic, you know. And everyone's got their own forte, and everyone is different. You know, we get our inspirations, but when we go on, we are who we are. You know, again, if you're doing covers or you're doing a tribute act, it's a lot easier of a sell because it's already established and popular. But even with that being said, you're the one that's got to perform it. You're the one that's got to bring it to life. So the best thing to do is don't let fear get in the way of you wanting to go out and play. Just don't, because it's nothing worse than you look back and say, "Oh man, I should have tried it, man." You know, so what if I would make a mistake? Watch what happens as we get older. These things don't matter so much. Maybe that's part of the magic of getting older. You know, we feel like we don't have to impress anybody. We just go out there and we play. We can enjoy life. We can enjoy life. You know, we don't have to feel like we got to chase anything. Basically, you know. But I get it. When you're young, it's you want to prove that point, and I've been there. I know. And again, don't get so down and hard on yourself when when you get rejected. Don't let that bother you so much, because all that does is build your endurance and your strength up, so that when you get that opportunity to play, you're gonna hit it hard and try to record yourself. And when you look at that playback, and even if only a few people are enjoying what you're doing, and you're enjoying what you're doing, boom, it's a show, man. It's a great performance because you were into it, you loved it. It's great. The people who do like it, they got it, they caught it, you know. So again, don't hold yourself back. Don't, because there's nothing worse than looking back with regrets. I should have tried it, you know. So, anyways, my friends, I hope this helps. You know, I don't have all the answers. I don't think anyone has all the answers. We only know what we have done and what we have gone through, and we share those experiences with people, and hopefully it helps them out. Give them some, even if it's just some sort of a guidance, you know. So, and like I said, if step one, if you want to do open mics, go ahead, try it with that. try also recording yourself and putting it up on YouTube or Instagram or other platforms. Rumble, which I've got a Rumble channel, Gigs and Gear, Dave Byron, and we only got on that channel 3 gigs. We have some other gigs on the other Gigs and Gear, which is on Rumble, but we're gonna go full force with that as well as continue on with this platform with YouTube. Um, and I'll keep people posted on the name change. And so I don't want anyone to get freaked out or anything. I think before I change it, because I'm still doing the research to make sure that everything's be on the QT, but I want everyone to know. Plus, I want to test some waters here. I definitely want to test some waters. I want to see what's really going on. And but getting back to playing out live, it's a great experience, and it does bring joy to people. Before I close, I want to share one thing with you. I'll never forget the compliment that I got. Music could be therapeutic as well. It could be very, very healing. Very, very healing. It could change a person's life. This was, oh my God, it had to have been what, 1991 or something like that. We had a rehearsal studio on Ashland Avenue, Ashland Division in Milwaukee. It was called the Space Place. I was coming back, and at this time I lived in Cicero, Illinois. So when I took the L train, I took it to one point and I had to go underneath the subway, the subway, and come back to the other part of the subway for the connection to go to the further west side of Chicago and out to Cicero. So it had been about maybe 2 o'clock in the morning, maybe 2:30 in the morning, and I'm sitting waiting for the train. At that time, at night, the trains only ran once every half hour. So I'm sitting there thinking I'm the only one on the train platform. I had I think it was a Sigma Martin acoustic steel string, and all I was doing was this. Just playing that rhythm, which now became the song, one of my originals called Inspiration. So I was done playing, and down with the way the out tracks were in the subway, I didn't know there was a lady down standing there. And she comes up to me, and she says, "Wow, that sounded so beautiful. I had a really bad day, and what you just played kind of changed my mind." I mean, wow, man. I was like, "Wow, Miss, I really appreciate that. I'm just playing. I'm waiting for the train." She says, "No, that really touched me." That right there made me realize the power of playing. I wasn't, of course, I don't sing, and I wasn't doing anything fancy, but I was maybe in that zone and feeling something, and it just came out. That's why it's good to record yourself, guys, because you never know when that magical moment's going to happen. Like, oh man, there went that idea, And as slight as that might appear to be, that's the impact. Just think about, for people who do play, rewind yourself back to when you started playing and what made you want to play. There was a certain feeling, there was something that grabbed you. Well, when we play and there's people who don't play, that's what they're hearing. They're hearing that magic. They're hearing their connection. So the more you hold yourself back, the more you might be depriving someone of that magic. You just don't know. You don't know. And again, you're gonna have some bad gigs, some gigs there, and that could go all 100% in your favor. You might not get the call back. This happened to me. No big deal. You just move forward. It's not the end of the world. So don't hold yourself back. Don't. Because you do have something important. You do have something special to share with people. Okay, my friends. So that'll wrap it up. And again, we're gonna keep everyone posted on the name change because I gotta test the waters. I definitely gotta see something what's going on with this, and we will also in the process maybe have some time over the weekend where I got a lot the memory on my phone is almost like all the way filled, so I got a lot of pictures with the artwork that I gotta download and then clear it because on my phone I also have the Rumble app, and that's when I'm able to put up more videos on Rumble, which I'm gonna start doing a lot more. And there's also a feature that you could go live on Rumble, which I'm also gonna do that as well. I'll keep everyone posted. So we'll continue to do the live on YouTube, but if I find out I could do live on Rumble, we're gonna do that as well. So, anyways, guys and gals out there, and Riley, I hope this helps. Don't be afraid. It's not all bad out there. It really isn't. Start little by little by little and build it up and go to the places that you want to go to and just test the waters there. You don't know what could become of everything, and just how many lives you change, especially yours. So, anyways, thanks for watching, guys. You have a great rest of your evening, and we will be going live. Hopefully, we won't get rained out. Go figure. The first gig of the year, 2025, we get rained out. But you know, it's kind of like that down here. But if we are got the green light to go, we'll be going live Monday from 6 to 9 over at Jungle Bird, and we'll keep everyone posted. So, anyways, have a great evening. Stay creative, my friends. Be safe, rock on, and God bless. Thank you so much for watching. Let's see. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. Yeah, Deb is a trooper. Oh my God, guys. I really apologize so much about this. Happy New Year to you guys as well. Lisa, Happy New Year. Merry Christmas and everything. Old man Dan, what's happening, brother? Jim Goodry, what's happening, man? Dale Palmer, thank you so much. We really appreciate it, guys. Have a great evening. Rock on, and God bless. Thank you so kindly.